All right, so astrology time, and now we're going to take a big one on, right? We're going to go for doing an entire month, right, from the beginning of the Virgo season to the end of the Virgo season. It's going to be brought on by a couple of new moons. So you ready for some astrology? Let's go. Shane here, daily-astrocat.com, and here we got our Making Room for Mars. The Sun exits Leo. And now we're facing a very Virgo late summer, like a very Brady movie, only it's very Virgo, 2 Vs. I am leaving behind me countless hours that I spent on episodes that never made it. Okay? I spent, I'm beginning a new monthly series with this episode, and here that's going to follow the flow and the astrology in accordance with the old ways. By the moon, by the season, and by the tropical sign. The more in touch we are with the earth and nature, the more we realize that we are of the stars. Now, this is called a black moon. It's a black moon because black moons can occur 2 different ways. They occur about every 33 months, and they can either occur during a calendar month, which would be a Gregorian month, so say like between August 1st and August 31st, right? Or they can occur within a sign, within a season. That's a black moon. 2 new moons in that period are a black moon. If there's full moons, they would be a blue moon. So now that we got our blacks and blues sorted out and we know where we're going with it, the sun changes signs on Friday, August 22nd at 4:34 in the afternoon. Welcome to the Virgo season. This is a season of release and renewal, and it's going to feature 2 new moons, like I just explained to you. This gives us a chance to get this right. Now, here I have a chart of when the sun actually is going to enter at 4:34 in the afternoon. And you can see I got a bunch of lines here, and the lines are kind of just showing us where Venus is in relation to that. We can see where it's 0 degrees of Virgo up here for the sun entering. Now, the sun is entering at 0 degrees. We also have to take into account that I have a yod here drawn out where the sun and moon are at, and they're at the apex of that yod between Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune. This is some energy that's definitely, this is a karmic type of energy. I'm going to have crow about that a little later because I told you about this right about when Neptune came into, when the sun, Mercury, Venus, Neptune all started coming to this spot with Pluto and highlighting this yod, this finger of God for me, that let me think about it and say, like, there's going to be something that's going to happen there, and it's going to be really good, and it's going to involve work. And lo and behold, I'm in the middle of something really good, and it's involving work, and I hope that you are too. There's an easy flow to the energy that's going to be going through just about the entire month, because it's not, it really what it is just those kites that we were talking about in the last couple of days. And I will get into that because I think there's going to be a lot of new people watching this. So the main event, the Virgo season is crucial to where we want to be in the next couple of years. This particular season, this particular point where we're at is crucial to it. Why? Well, before I get into the specifics, let me generally touch on the overall trends. Then I'll add the season to that montage, okay? Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus are all in sextiles, like you saw on that picture. They're all on the outskirts of the zodiac wheel. We've got Pluto in Aquarius. We have Saturn and Neptune at that beginning point of Aries. We have Uranus at the beginning of Gemini. All those planets are going to retrograde, with the exception of Pluto, back out of those signs. And then, come next year, they will start moving forward again and move into those signs, and that is when they're not going to leave for a long time. We've got about 7 years of Uranus in Gemini. We have about 14 years of Neptune in Aries, and goodness gracious, Pluto's going to be there for about 20 years. So we've got quite a bit of time for these planets to be sitting in this position and sitting relative to each other. Saturn actually moves a bit quicker than that, about every couple of years. So Saturn will be breaking this formation first. but not until it comes back into it around July of next year. Now, Pluto's dancing between 4 degrees and 1 degree, 21 minutes of Aquarius. Everybody's kind of like right there. I just told you what that was. The Leo season is going to end with a bang. On the same day, which is the 22nd, the sun enters Virgo. It will also be conjunct with the fixed star Regulus. Regulus is the heart of the lion. It's a royal star. The fixed stars, it's a good one, right? There's some bad ones, there's good ones. This is said to bestow success and regal traits to what we do, right? Yes, we like that. Bestows success unto our endeavors. One can only hope so. May your actions undertaken on August 22nd, tomorrow, if you're watching this, bring you lasting good fortune and success. Now, this video is actually going to be better than for tomorrow, because it's going to go the whole month. It's going to go till we leave Libra, but it's a very truncated sort of video because there's not a lot that you can get if I just go through every day and every aspect. What a way to welcome the Virgo season, right? School's going to start, vacations wind down, and we're on a busy trajectory that's going to last us through the holidays. Even though the growing season draws to a close, we're going to have a perfect opportunity to set intentions, courtesy of the Sabian symbolism. Virgo season is when we set our hands to the tasks that we have at hand. 2 hands right there. Here's another yod. Now, this yod is actually from the 23rd. So this is actually where we are going with the new moon. This is the new moon energy. We can see the sun and moon are conjunct down here, and we can see they're basically at 23 degrees of Virgo. Now, we have this yod formed because that's when the moon slips into it. So we did mention this a little bit earlier, but this is an innovative one. This is innovative and artistic. It's very, very much related to the work that we're doing in the core of what it is that we want to be portraying ourselves as. The Sabian symbol for 1 Virgo was discussed earlier in the month on August 6th when Mars entered Virgo. And, okay, this is about 1 Libra. Okay, we can't do that. So we're not going to do that. Virgo happens to be where we're having some of these other things that are going on. It's a mastery Sabian symbol. I know I have it here somewhere. I'm not going to go crazy looking for it. This one here just happens to be about 1 degree Libra, and that's going to come right as we come to the end of this month. This stuff is going to be very important because there's a different kind of transformation that takes place as we approach that equinox and we get into the second half of the year. So we can talk about this kind of like a little bit out of sequence, because when that moon, when the sun is actually going to pass over that spot in Libra, it activates yet another kind of thing that's going on. And the thing that is going to activate is another kite, right? Yeah, it forms another kite. There's another kite that's going to form there that's going to form with, we'll get into it a little bit later. But look, there's a strange energy here, as the Sabian symbol for 1 degree Libra is a butterfly, an ideal specimen on display, preserved and impaled. I got some questions about this. I had questions on the 6th. I have questions now. But now it's very important just how potent this symbol is. The butterfly is a result of transformation that occurs in the chrysalis. Fully emerged, it represents that transformational process, spiritual freedom, and obvious beauty. The preserved butterfly as a symbol in the symbol is an ideal. All right, everything the butterfly represents is the goal of many. You've heard it before, right? It isn't merely about physical change. It's about a metaphysical awakening that is necessary for our souls to embrace during this eclipse season. Now, that's very important. There's lingering talents and a new imperative. The outer planets will all remain in a talent triangle. That's where Pluto, Saturn, and Neptune and Uranus are at. It's a mini grand trine. Some people call them talent triangles. It unites immediate technology, long-term technology, and art, creativity, and almost like going beyond the boundaries, right? If Saturn is a limitation and we're pushing it with Neptune, we're going to try to go beyond that limitation. That's going to be something that we really want to look at and just see if it speaks to us. I told you last spring that we'd be taking a hard look at the points where the sextiles between the outer planets would converge. Yep, this is the one between Aries and Aquarius. Now, where it's the Sun, Mercury, Venus, all passed over these points, that 0 degrees of Aries. 0 degrees of Aries was particularly prominent here because it was the apex of a yod, because the apex of the yod would form at 0 degrees Virgo, because it would be halfway between, right at that 0 point. Okay, that's good. Now that now that the yod is realized, the actions that Mars undertook when he entered Virgo on June 17th, when the Sun was actually conjunct Sirius, paved the way for all of this and more. Now the Sun is here, and we're able to make our talents pay off. Those actions that led up to it, yes, we've had much to offer. We do have much to offer. There will be waves of innovation that will lead to otherworldly creativity and is there for all to try and to touch. Look around the wheel and find the sextiles. If I show you the wheel again, just look around it. Find the sextiles. Between them lies a challenge. Where the tips meet, that is opportunity. There's a cradle that's evident in the early one, the early chart I showed you. That cradle has 3 sextiles in it. Each one of those sextiles has a point that you can draw and make a yod out of. When the moon crosses and triggers those points, you will see some of that energy starting to play out. Just like right here. You can see where we have 1, 2, 3 sextiles. Those are all yods. This is from the 4th of July. This is a great one, right? Because we were projecting here about that Scorpio point, where Mars is going to be approaching. We were projecting that would be this time where we would see some return after all of the work that was done, because we have Venus and Uranus conjunct in Taurus. We're talking money stuff, and we're talking Saturn and Neptune in Aries doing that challenging us, getting us to go out there, getting us to try harder, make work for us. And that's where you have the moon down at that apex point. And the way that we got there, well, obviously it's going to be where Chiron is. We got to be healthy in order to make money. So, and now we have our kite. That's when the moon and Mercury join together. And this is going to happen on the 13th. The 13th is going to be very interesting. We're going to jump ahead a little bit because, honestly, these kites are what is dominating the month. The kites are these beneficial aspects that have one opposition that runs right down through it. And that opposition is a way to resolve the energies of that kite, because it takes into that talent triangle, but it also has a grand trine in it. So it's a mini grand trine and a grand trine stacked, and it just reconciles those two energies because they're opposites, and they are reconcilable because they do attract each other. They can be, if they attract each other, you can get lazy, but where the rigid kite structure keeps them separated, that's where they don't get lazy and they work for us. This particular kite happens to be a really, really good one because it's got Black Moon Lilith, Jupiter, the North Node, and the Sun and Mercury. Now, Uranus begins retrograde motion right around this time. Watch your markets. Right around the 13th, right? 13th, 14th. Crypto tends to grow when Uranus is retrograde. Uranus returns to Taurus, where you can expect more regulatory hijinks. Now that all the outer planets are retrograde, we begin to experience an artistic reset. We descend with Persephone to hone our craft, to work on new designs and offerings. This is in keeping with the season. The next 14 years is when the art is really going to take off. Who will be at the vanguard of this movement? Will it be one of you? The full moon in Pisces occurs at 15 degrees, 3 minutes just after that, on the 15th. This energy will be carried into the apex of the kite that will be formed by that new moon in 2 weeks' time. That's right. As creatives, we never completely go underground, nor will the effort be solely for commercial production. We do things for ourselves. Art doesn't work like that. The Uranus-Aquarius connection is electric, and even the slightest contact sets the current in motion. So the moon passes over that, it just goes boom, and it lights up that whole talent triangle. And that's where we're kind of drawing inspiration from. And here we have yet another trine. And this is the one from earlier. This is 7-9. So there's another look at the trine. We have this thing going on. This is ongoing, guys. These kites, the two trines, we've got the bottom grand trine and we've got the upper talent triangle. That talent triangle is Jupiter. That talent triangle is Black Moon Lilith. That is the moon and sun once again just coming into where it has to be. This is very important. Now, kites have been everywhere over the last few months. The kite has an apex and a base that forms a central tension. I already kind of mentioned that, right? Now, it's important to note that the apex is the topmost point, but the whole structure is held aloft into the air. It's not just the top that goes up. That tail gives it that stability so it doesn't go wobbling or go crazy and then just crash. Everything works together in harmony in a kite. Now, this kite that emerges, we've seen it before. We have the ambition and power of Lilith is joined by Jupiter expansion, right? Just make that just big. Lilith won't be held down, won't be held back, will get what she desires. The North Node, that karmic destiny that we're just heading towards, we have these powers just going, we're going to just start going for it. And the apex in Virgo, that means we're doing the work. Now's the time to really dig deep and get the work going. Only now we have the Sun and Mercury at the base, right? We don't no longer have Mars at the base. We have Sun and Mercury, the mind and the self going, this is where we belong. Before you had Mars saying, hey, if you work hard here, there's something you can get in this this kite formation. Now, the Sun and Moon, the Sun and Mercury, everybody, they know it. They know what Mars set out to do. Mars was trailblazing there. Now, this energy is over the top. This is the place of the overachiever. The work ethic is undeniably there because that's in Virgo. Sun and Mercury in Virgo. We're going to be working for it. And the result will be uncovered when Mars enters Scorpio. Oh, yeah. Showed you that one too, right? That is what we're talking about, the kite of destiny, Mars entering Scorpio. And there we're looking at, what are we looking at now? We're looking at the 21st. So this is the last new moon. And you can see that it just triggers all those same points, right? Only this one triggers it in one Libra. And that's where we go back to what I was talking about with Libra. Hopefully I didn't lose you there. But that's that Sabian symbol. That's that butterfly. This is the transformation point. We've made it. We've done the mastery work of Virgo. We've produced our magnus opus there. And now we're ready to just go through the rest of it and have this become a spiritual experience as opposed to one that was rote learning and doing the things. Now we're going to make this pay off in a way that's going to feed our spirits and feed our souls. And that's a beautiful thing, right? I love this slide here. This is my Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Aries. Yes, I did use these people. I did say Christopher Lee looked like Saturn to me. Still does, right? Now, we close with the second new moon at 29 degrees, 5 minutes. The Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus kite is back with the sun and moon at the point of stability. All right, so it shifts a little bit. We take Pluto, we got Pluto still in there, and we just shift just a bit, right? It's just shifted just a little bit, all right? And look, we have, in this point here, you are at that Libra point. You are at that point where it's the moderating influence. Attention to detail, yeah. Belief in ourselves, yeah, we have that going on as well. We have the Virgo stuff. Tomorrow, the sun's going to enter Libra from this chart here. It'll enter it the very next day, and gracious living is going to be all ours. That's what we have to discover. We have to have a fervent belief in ourselves, and we have to believe that our future is going to be just great. That's some powerful manifestation. It's a second new moon, guys. You already had one manifestation back then, back on the first time that it happened through on the 22nd. This is the second one. The same thing. It's Virgo, a Virgo moon. Mars also enters Scorpio. We're going to burn everything in our path to achieve our goals. It gets serious, right? We're going to bring it on. It being nice, that's not working. So, and you're going to see that out in the world too. You're going to see a lot more confrontational stuff going on as things get going. National politics is already a shit show, and it's going to get even nastier. Resist the urge to burn everything for yourself. Instead, focus on digging deep. Tapping into hidden wealth is your theme up until Christmas time. Now, the power of the new moon is in Virgo. It happens twice now. It's to plant seeds now and for the future. The first time we plant them for now. Second time we're going to plant them in the future. 2 moons in one period happens every 33 months. How far into the future, you ask? Well, maybe when the next eclipse occurs in Pisces, right? The full moon in Pisces will be on the most spiritual, will be one of our most spiritual yet. It marks the thinning of the veil. Well, this part does, because we're starting to go right into Halloween, right? Saturn and Neptune will return to Pisces just as Persephone descends into the underworld. There you go. Please take the time to like this video and smash the subscribe button. Show me some love. Make daily-astrocat.com part of your routine. The podcast is at YouTube or at daily-astrocat.com or wherever you get your podcasts at. Subscribe and click notifications. Receive them. Like me, follow me, do the things you got to do, share. Okay? Thank you so much. Happy astrocatting.